are back again on your screens for the review of the NPFL Match Day 7 Midweek game reviews. And I can promise you for sure, today's episode promises to be interesting. For today's episode, we will be having two analysts on board. Welcome with me, Trent the Maestro, to today's episode. And on my left, I have the amicable, I would say he's my brother, AJay, for today's show. I feel so short in between both of you. So how are you guys feeling? Let me start with Trent, the man by my right. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Feeling excited as well.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you doing, AJay?
Well, it's been a tough week for Nigerians, with the whole Libya situation. And then we had the NPFL just take our attention off. So I think it's been busy for Nigeria. Nothing in Europe. So we wait for the weekend to see if we have European football again.
We will, because the international windows has just...
It depends on the club you're supporting. Because it might be problem to problem.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the review of the first game of the match day 7. We had Lobby Stars. Yeah, we had Lobby Stars play against El Kanemi Warriors. I would love to ask. We saw the Lobby Stars club team leading 2-0 at the start of the game or into the game. And then in some way, El Kanemi Warriors happened to bring the game or wrap up the game with a draw, ending 2-2. What would you say was the problem? What happened to Lobby Stars? We've had 2 games so far for Daniel Amokachi, and he has drawn the both games. This
is what happens when you watch too much of Man United highlights and Spurs highlights. Because I think it's United that reminded me, they happened this season. They did that game against Porto, that United scored twice, and then they lost a 2-goal lead. Yeah. And I think Spurs also did the same thing against Brighton. For Lobby Stars, well, let me use this moment to brag. Our producer, Maxon, he introduced a new segment in our last shoot where we predicted NPFL games, and I predicted Lobby Stars would do Academy Warriors. So please don't mess with my predictions in the NPFL. Okay. So Lobby Stars 2-2 against the Academy Warriors. First of all, I must say I'm impressed with Academy. Yeah. Coming from NNL, remaining unbeaten. It's like what Bender Insurance did. Coming from NNL, staying unbeaten through 24, 25 games. And now El Kanemi are unbeaten in 7 games.
Yeah, 7 games.
Joint with Rivers United. The first time 2 teams are unbeaten in 7 games. Impressive from them, but the problem is that they have just 1 win, 6 draws in that period. Yeah. And no, I would say they have just 1 win and 5 draws because they've played just 6 games. Who knows if they might even lose that one. But let's not talk about it. I just wish that they can start getting wins because the unbeaten run, they're on the safe side of the table. For that game in particular, disappointed that Lobby Stars lost a 2-goal lead, away. It was a last-minute goal that stopped him from winning Amokachi in his first game against Tornadoes. And now, again, some last-minute goals stopped him from winning as well. Disappointing, but you never know. Maybe the next game he'll pick up and start a win. But so far, so good. Amokachi is unbeaten. Okay.
Now, over to you, Trent. I would love to understand. Lobby Stars have played 7 games so far this season. We've had 7 match days. And they've won just 1 game. And drawn... They have 6 points in total. Yes, Lobby Stars have 6 points in total. What would you say? Would you say that because we've had a change in the coaching staff, would you say that the problem of the team is the coaching staff, or would you say the players are also at fault at this time?
Well, I'll say that they should give the coach time because you see, when a coach goes into a new club, you don't just expect him to start performing magic. I think he should be given a little bit of time, maybe after 5 matches before we start judging him. Depending on the result he pulls out for the team. And Lobby Stars, at some point last season, they were title contenders, but Lobby Stars is a big team as far as the NPFL is concerned. They are very good. Last season, they were doing absolutely well. But this season, coming into this season, we've seen a whole lot of changes in the NPFL, and I think that's affecting them. But let's just see, maybe when they go back to their home stadium, rather, the Apeaku Stadium, maybe they'll start getting the result, because right now they are not playing in their home ground. So let's just see when they go back to their home ground with the new coach Daniel Amokachi, unbeaten, 2 draws as well. So I'll just say maybe they should he should check his defense because he can score. He scored in his first game. He scored 2 goals against El Kanemi Warriors as well. So I'll just say that he should go back to the drawing board and check what he has to do with the defense. If the defenders are not good, maybe in the January transfer, he should go into the transfer market and get defenders for the club.
Okay, all right. Let's have your review for the second game of the match day 7. We had Rangers play against Kano Pillars. A lot of things went down in that game. But let's have your general review first. So what happened?
Well, first 45 minutes, Kano Pillars were leading.
4-0.
4-0, yeah. So Rangers International came back. I think they woke up, but it was too late before they could start getting the goals. And I'll blame Rangers International, the people that selected the assistant coaches and all the coaching team that selected the starting lineup. Why would we not start Xavier Isaac rather. Why wouldn't you start him? Because it's one person that have been so phenomenal for the club as far as the NPFL season is concerned. And for Kano Pillars, I don't even know. Right about now, I don't know if I'll change my predictions for someone that will win the league, because I think Kano Pillars should get into the contenders. Into the contenders and the conversation as well, because you can see they brought in Ahmed Musa. Since he came into the squad, he has changed everything about the squad. And Usman Abdallah, I don't even know what they are reforming. Shehu Abdullah is there too, and Rabi Ali as well. They are making the team look so unstoppable this season. But despite that, Rangers International, for the first time this season, they've scored about 3 goals in a single game. It's not really good for defending champions. And I would say at some points, Fidelis Lechiku came in the second half to continue the game. I think that was when they started scoring goals, and it was too late for me. And for Kano Pillars, there will be a nightmare to NPFL team this season, because you cannot just start winning goals like that. And yeah, people will say that yes, they lost against Akwa United. Yes, it's quite obvious that Akwa United will actually gain a point in the Gospel Akwabe International Table against Kano Pillars, but still, they lost the points away. They went away again to get a whole 3 points as well. So I'll say that congratulations to Usman Abdallah, and for Rangers International, they should just look forward to their next game, because I think there's still a long way in the NPFL this season.
All right, so let's also talk about this. We had issues with the officiating of the games, penalties that were awarded to Kano Pillars, and also we saw Rangers International complaints made online was that they were cheated. There were some penalties that were not awarded to Rangers International. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I'll say if there's something this season that has really changed in the NPFL, I'll say the officiating. Right now, I cannot judge any officials, because you can see the NPFL board are really shaping up things. What we used to see last season is not what we are seeing this season again. So for that, as far as the center referee has said, okay, yes, it's not penalty or it's a penalty, then I'll take it, because you cannot start blaming the NPFL referees no more, because now the NPFL board has really shaped things, and things are going actually as planned. The way Nigerians want the NPFL to be, I mean the referee, the way Nigerian wants everything to be, that's how it's going. So I'll not blame any referee. The referee was actually right with his decision yesterday.
So last point on Rangers International, we saw I saw a conversation on X Space where people suggested that it is wrong for the defending champion coach, that's Ilechukwu, to be part of the Nigerian national team, being that he's been away from the team has actually affected the team. Would you say that is a bad call on his side?
It's not a bad call. He's not the only one that has been absent from his team. Consider the day of Remo Stars as well. He has been absent. Remo Stars are still getting the job done. We've seen Ali Uzibero of El Kaname Warriors too. They are still getting the job done. So he's not the only one. So I'll say that when you want to lead, you have to teach the people that are following you.
Okay.
That's what Ali Uzibero did. Even when Finidi George was the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we saw Yemi Olaruwaju getting the job done for Enyimba. Since then, it took up momentum from there, and so he became the head coach of Enyimba International. So I would say Rangers fans does not have anything to say about that, because why would you? It's the coaching board. It's not the coach. The coach went. It's actually like I'll say it's an opportunity. Yes, opportunity for Fidelis Lechiku to actually go and assist the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's very rare before you see NPFL coaches going to assist the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So I'll say it's a thing of joy for him. So they should not just they should not blame his absence. All
right, so over to you, AJay. Would you say you have a contrary opinion to the last question I just asked Trent?
Contrary is a very, very small word. The word I'm looking to describe the difference. Okay, maybe difference is the word, because if there's how you can just wake up from listening to something and just carry something and hit the person saying it with no harm intended, sir. Okay. Because my little colleague here, what are you saying, sir? What are you saying?
What point do you want to make?
I think Ilechukwu and Daniel Gomade, they will say, fine, yes, to save their country is a big honor. And obviously, nobody wants to say no to representing Nigeria. It's a very lovely country. So many people in Nigeria that want the opportunity. And obviously, there's also monetary addition to it. But in the Premier League, do you see Eddie Howe as star manager of the national team?
That's the Premier League.
What do you mean that's the Premier League?
The Premier League.
So this is a rubbish league?
I'm not saying this is a rubbish league. I'm not saying this is a rubbish league. This is the NPFL. We want
so we can do our things anyhow, yeah?
I'm not saying we have to do our things anyhow. Okay. See, one of the reasons why they say one of the reasons why they say NPFL coaches to assist the Super Eagles coach, I think it's for selection
because they don't have a job.
Players. I'm not saying because they don't have a job.
Gary Southgate was the England national team manager. Was he not going to go and watch games and know the players you select? Which one is helping to select? If you're going to appoint an NPFL manager, appoint one and let the other people do their job. First of all, Both of them lost in the last game week. You understand? Now you're telling me, oh, Elechiku flew in late from Abuja. But
Daniel Ogumiloro was around
and collected 3-1.
But he was around.
That one is God knows if he was coming from the airport, it would have been 7.
Wait,
so that's where I'm coming from now. Is
even when Daniel Ogumiloro was not around, Remo Stars won their game.
Now are they top of the league?
I'm not saying they are top of the league, but they won their game.
Come now.
The thing is, Rivers Finidi George was not with Eyimba like last season.
He
was not with Eyimba. Then Yemi stepped onto the duty and see something. Yemi still in the continent. Eyimba still in the continent.
This guy. How many wins Eyimba have in the last 10 games compared to the start of the season with Finidi George? Now you say it's surprising. You don't. You see, the thing is, if you're going to let someone do his job, then let the person do one job at a time. For God's sake, this is Nigeria where everyone has to know how to do 2 things so that we can survive in the country. But sometimes it's too much. Do you think it's easy to be national team coach? And also, do you think it's over there? This same Fidelis Elechiku and Ogumiloro are still in charge of the chanting. We have not started chanting here too. Are they the only ones there? The thing is that obviously they're not going to tell you it's too much because first they love Nigeria and secondly they obviously have to support their families to get this additional. But sometimes it's too much. Fidelis, wait now. If Fidelis come now, if Elechiku was around,
to lay your bed before you leave your house.
So you lay your bed and collect 3 jobs. If it's 3 jobs, you'll be flying around. Do you think you'll be here right now? It's not easy, guy. First of all, do you think Elechiku was around? We have flogged him like that 4-3. Everyone knows that it's when he came back at halftime. The game was 4-3. Now what?
Have you played against Kano Pillars? He played against Ahmed Musa.
Now ask yourself.
And Rabi Ali.
What would have happened?
He played against Kano Pillars, guy.
What would have happened if Enugu was like Lagos, where traffic fee hold you for sure your life? Now, what would have happened if Elechiku never came back? We'll be here talking about 9-0.
No, we'll not be talking about 9-0. We'll not be talking about 9-0, AJ.
It's Elechiku's second half subs that made the game 4-3.
I know, but he played against Kano Pillars.
Well, meaning what? It's not the same Pillars that Aqua beat 2-0 the last game.
It's because of Aqua. When last did Aqua United lose to Pillars at home?
See, the talking point here is, first of all, it's a distraction for managers because
you have to lay your bed before you go out.
Elechiku, I will tell you the main reason. One of the reasons Elechiku left the Champions League is because they did not let him do his work in peace. He was in Kigali, Rwanda with the Super Eagles, first of all, and just few minutes or few days, in fact, a day before the game against Sagrada Esperanca, that's when he had to come back. He would have said he was not going to be on the touchline for that game, but he had to do because he's Rangers coach. It's not easy. You fly from Rwanda, come to you. You've not eaten, you've not slept, you've not rested. You enter training. It's not done like that now.
It's his job.
Okay, so he's gonna die because it's his job.
Did I say he should die?
It's not. I'm not letting it. No. In the end, all I can say is that these are 2 very good managers. And last season, they were not given these distractions. I don't want to say distractions like it's a bad word, but it's obviously always, like I said in the beginning, it's an honor to work for the national team. But when they were not doing this last season, we saw how they were going head to head on the top of the table. And now Remo Stars started strong, but Ogumiloro has now lost 2 games. In that period, he's been away. Who knows if it was in the league? It would have been him and Rivers fighting for an unbeaten run. But let's just see in the future. I just hope that the Super Eagles, the NFF can just find a way to make sure that they relieve our national team coaches or relieve these coaches of the burden on their shoulder, because we still have unemployed managers. Eguma is still there and there's still many people they can employ.
So we have the next game, Eyimba versus Niger Tornadoes. Niger Tornadoes leading away in the first half and then Eyimba coming off in the second half to equalize. Let me have your take on that game.
Tornadoes is a very tricky team, very funny team. I don't understand why you're harder to play away than when you're at home.
Yeah.
It's very hard to beat them when they play away from home. I think they've gotten back-to-back away wins this season in their first 2 games. And then they lost the last away game, but I think now they came against Eyimba. The last game before this one, Eyimba beat them 3-1 at home, yes. And they were resurgent under the same Majid Mohammed. And this time, Clinton Jefta, that played for Niger Tornadoes, now plays for Eyimba. But Eyimba's Clinton Jefta and Daniel Daga were the under 20 camp. So they did not have them start the game. But still, you could see that Tornadoes were still strong enough and they scored first in the game. At that time they scored, they were flogging Rangers I think it was 4-2 by that time. So it was quite funny that the reigning champions and record champions were losing at the same time at home. And I was thinking, what would happen if both of them lose at the same time? It would be funny for the Southeast Giants. But of course, Eyimba will always be Eyimba. I can't flog them at home anyhow. And Chinedu Fair, I don't know how that young man, the defender, he always finds a way to score. He's now scored, I think he's a central defender. He's now scored twice this season. I think he scored in the Confederations Cup, maybe. Okay. I'm not sure why. I know he scored before. So he's been really good for the People's Elephants. And now that problem of dropping points at home, if you start doing that now, it's going to come hunting. Eyimba are not known to be dropping points like this. Yemi Olarinwaju, questions are around his head. Are you sure you can take this job? Can you handle it well? because dropping points at home, Enyimba count draws at home like losses. So they're going to need to revamp and reboot, get away in the next game, because they cannot be sleeping like this at the moment. And I think the only highlight in that game was that, did you see that lovely control from Immo? He went from, shout out to Dangolo, he got that one on camera. But aside that lovely Messi moment, nothing else there.
But judging from the highlights, Enyimba had more chances compared to Nigeria Tornadoes.
In there 1-1. Nobody will send you. Score your goal in your game. Okay. But I think for Enyimba fans now, they just know what's at hand and what they can do. I think the team looks balanced enough just to understand themselves more better. I think score goals is also always a problem as well. All in all, they have the support from Wanko Kano. They're playing El Kanemi in the next game. FA Cup champions against the record champions. That game will end as a draw.
It's likely to end.
In fact, let me get it here. I'm coming back here after El Kanemi play Enyimba. Note my face. El Kanemi Warriors Enyimba is a draw. I don't know why it's 1-1, 2-0, 2-2, 0-0, but El Kanemi Enyimba is a draw. If it's not a draw, I'm doing the next show with a singlet.
All right, thank you. Let's head over to Trent. Yes, we saw Nasarawa United beat Abia Warriors at home 3-0. And it was not just about the score margin, right? We had Anas Yusuf back on the scoring sheet with a whooping hat-trick again. And this is his second hat-trick in the season. He's like the next player after Anthony Okbotu of Lobby Stars, that was 2016-2017, who had 3 hat-trick in the season, currently playing in the Saudi Arabia top league. What do you have to say about that game?
Well, you can see Nasarawa United getting a player that tops the goal scoring chart in the NPFL is something amazing and something different, because over the years we've seen players like players who plays for Enyimba and Rivers United getting into the goal top scoring chart, and I would say Anas Yusuf has been phenomenal this season, scoring double hat tricks so far this season. Some points in his last 2 games he did not score, and people thought that this is just one match wonder. That was what people were saying. So why is it that you always depend on Anas Yusuf to get the job done for you? And he's not even a striker. And he's the only one. Maybe if he scores, that's when they win games. That's when they grab 3 points. So it's concerning for the team as well. So I would say they should look towards shaping their attacking line and make sure that they don't have to depend on Anas Yusuf. So what if he goes on injury and maybe he misses like 5 games? I'm not saying he's going to go on injury, but what if? It's possible. And Abia Warriors on the other hand, well, it's quite sad for Imam Amakabo and his boys. This season they have not really been that good. I know them always being phenomenal at home at the Umuahia Township Stadium. It's a place that you cannot just go in there and grab all 3 points, but we have seen Remo Stars going in there grabbing all 3 points this season, and it's not really good for them. I would say that this season is not their season, because we saw last season they reached the FA Cup finals when El Kanemi Warriors won them in that very one. So I would say Nasarawa United, a club which coming from the NNL to come into the NPFL and start dominating a little bit, getting into the momentum of how the league runs and everything. It's actually good for them. So let's just see what happens with Nasarawa United and Abia Warriors. Maybe they will go back to the drawing board and see what they can do with their next matches.
Okay, so let's move on to AJay. We saw Kwara United playing against Sunshine Stars and gathering all 3 points at home, 3-0. Let's have your take on the game.
It's like ever since Kwara lost that first game at home against Tornadoes, they have sworn that they will not lose against. Because the way they humbled before, a whole 2-time league winner with 2 different teams, a whole record maker, history breaker, flogged in 3 goals. The thing about this season is that some games, away teams come with all steez and just slap you and carry 3 points and move, and you can't do anything about it because it's fair play. But then there are still some teams that say, if it's not home, I will not win you. I don't think Kwara have won away from home. They haven't. But if you're home, you're not beating them, except you are Tornadoes, which is quite funny because Tornadoes is not a huge team. With all respect to the Ekonala boys. I'm just surprised how they beat Sunshine 3-0.
3-0.
The biggest name in Sunshine is Kennedy Boboye. And that's why I regard the team as a very high class prospect this season. I think they're still in the top half. They're still in the top half. Either 6th or 5th, 6th, 7th, I guess. Maybe 4th, 5th, 6th. I know they have double digits in terms of points.
Okay.
So Wasiu Aladade scoring twice in the game. Super performance. Shout out to all our guys in Kwara, especially Innovator of Africa. He's always around there to interview the players after the games. So I think Kwara are just confusing for me because at home they look like this. Away they're like this. So if they can just try to push this momentum from the home games to away games, they're going to catch fun in the NPFL. But you guys, why would you flog boy 3 goals now? It's like respect people. Respect. That's my problem. Problem is just respect. You have to respect people. But anyway, it's all good.
So another 3-0 win. Bendel Insurance at home, whipping Bielsa United. And the thing is that they did not just win 3-0. You know that their last game, they were defeated 3-0 away. So they came off, they were beaten by Ikorodu City, Bendel Insurance. And then they came off at home and they were like, okay, so I have to, So then I was okay, now that we are home, let's give back the same cup that we've been served with. They defeated Bielsa United 3-0.
First of all, let's just go off camera. No, not off camera. Let's just go off script and just commend AJay for always preparing. You guys see this big book here? She spent days and she spent a lot of time preparing for it. Just have to commend her. Secondly, commend Stanley. I think, okay, I'll commend myself because ever since we did that video and Stanley reposted it, they now won 3-0. So Stanley, send funds to CenterKick. Support the foundation. More videos means more wins. And I predicted that Bendel will be biased at 2-0. So they just added one on top, Jara. And all of a sudden now, Odige is now looking like Obama. It will surprise you in next game. If you like, don't play well. For Bendel, I think I'm impressed that they bounced back quickly. You know, if they did not win, it would have been 3 games without a win. And it was 2 games without a win. It was quite tough for the people at Inedu. That their mighty Benin Arsenal were now looking like Man United, with all due respect. So, you know, the form switch was quite impressive. 3-0 clean sheet. This thing called NPFL will humble you. See, Laramboso that I used to... Oh, Laramboso, sorry, I respect you, please. But, you know, when we talk about Laramboso before, it's like, Oga of Flying Eagles. You can't touch him. He's a very good manager, yes. But, you know, the honor we used to have for him before, now they'll flog him anyhow. Flog him. If you don't play, they'll flog him. You see, Flying Eagles coach, then scatter 3-0. Sir, your team will do well, sir, but for now, please just bear with us. Nobody won't agree for anybody for this league. So they flogged the whole Flying Eagles coach 3-0. It's not looking good. But Bielsa, I saw you coming. I knew they were not winning the game. I just didn't think it was going to be 3-0. Lovely goals scored by the Bendel team. Problem is, can they keep doing this? Because if they don't do it again, Stanley will go and start shouting for change. But I mean, I love the way the game went, and I pray for more wins for them. Pray for Bielsa to win the next game as well.
So Bielsa United have just 6 points so far in 7 match days. Do you think that London Bosso's job is being at this point threatened?
He has 6 points. People have less, so I think his job is okay. London Bosso is an experienced manager of the league, top manager. And like I said, former Flying Eagles coach. So all he needs is probably time, and then the results start coming in. So let's just give him time. All right.
So over to you, Trent the Maestro. We had the next game, Heartland versus Ikorodu City. The game ended in a draw, 1-1. These are 2 struggling teams so far this season. What do you make of that game?
See, one thing in the NPFL, if some games would have been just like basketball, so that we just see many goals being scored, so that 1-1 is a little goal margin for me. But when you want to look at these 2 teams, their trajectory, what they have been able to achieve so far this season, you see that they are best of same feathers. They just flock together. They just met themselves, and they just say, okay, let's pick a point. You see that draw for Ikorodu is just like 3 points. Okay. Yeah, to be very honest. Sorry for Ikorodu, but it's just like 3 points to them. But because you cannot go away from home and pick a point. See, Ikorodu have really suffered this season. I don't even know. I don't really know, but they are using the same set of players they use in the NNL to come and compete in the NPFL. And for Adlan Ovorri, it's quite...
Emmanuel Amunike.
It's quite unfortunate that he's passing through all this stress. He has just 1 win this season in the NPFL. Same with Ikorodu City as well. So there are 2 teams struggling in the relegation waters.
They share the same vision.
Yeah, they share same vision. They are in the same WhatsApp group. So so let's just see what happens. For Ikorodu City, I just feel that this season they'll have to go back to the NNL. Yeah, to be very sincere. Sorry to Ikorodu City and everybody. They have not yet unveiled their coach. You see, their coach resigned. Bright Ozagbagbe, he resigned. So let's just see what happens in the next couple of games for them.
All right. Continuing to the next game, we had Rivers United against Shooting Stars. They played a 2-0. That's Rivers United winning at home. Let me have your take on the game.
Fini George, experts, it's good. You know, first season, first NPFL trophy, with a Yimba International, moved to Rivers United. I don't. You see, this Finnish judge is someone that went to school because he's wise and he makes sure that he left a good club, went to another good club, and the same set of players. Everything is just going well for him. And for Shooting Stars of Ibadan, well, it's quite unfortunate that Benga Ogunbote is passing through this, because I see Benga Ogunbote as the Unai Emery of the NPFL, because it tends to cause some kind of upsets for teams that are battling for the continental spot and for the title as well. So I would say it was not really a good one for Benga Ogunbote, but when you see toe-to-toes, you just see that quality and class defeats him yesterday. So I'll say that for Rivers, title contenders is quite obvious. Unbeaten this season. Come on, you cannot just take that away from them now. So I would say Shooting Stars of Ibadan. Well, I think it's only Ibadan they'll be winning their games this season, because going away from home these days is something. It's a whole lot. So I would say that for Rivers United, they should just continue like that. At least we love what we are seeing unbeaten. Let's just see if they can continue on the momentum until maybe
match day 10
or maybe during the mid-season. So let's just see what happens. For now, I think they are still title contenders.
We saw Plateau beat Remo Stars 3-1. That's another assistant coach being beaten away. We know it's away, it's not home, right? So let's have a take.
What pains me here is that Prediction Remo will win the game. And what pains me even more is that it's defenders that ran the show. Ebuka Anthony scored twice. And please, Ebuka Anthony did not score a hat-trick. I don't want to call out the services we use that help us check who scores goals, around football sector. But most of you guys, that was the fault, because everyone was like, oh, Anas Yusuf now he scored one hat-trick and the Ebuka Anthony scored. No, Ebuka Anthony scored twice. Okay? And I think Remo Stars will also guilty of that, but I've corrected it. So Ebuka Anthony, another former Aqua United player, doing well outside the club. I don't know if he was playing for Aqua, what I would have scored those 2 goals. But, well, all in all, Plateau United dominated Remo Stars. They scored and scored and scored. Remo scored once just to make sure it was not that painful, but it was still painful. It's terrible for their title credentials, and everyone says them as favourites this season. They, at the point, in fact, they had the most wins in the league until Rivers won the last game. So that means Rivers now have 7 games, 5 wins, and then Remo have 5 wins as well. So both of them, Rivers and Remo, have 5 wins, and then just keep winning your games. But Remo have lost twice now, 1 to Kwara and then 1 to Plateau United. It's terrible for Daniel Ogumodede. I don't want to say where it's Libya that caused this, because probably somehow traumatized in Libya. But thank God he's also back in the country. I saw his post when he said he was thankful to come back to himself and his family. But I don't think that game was a welcome back game for him. Let's just see what happens in the next game. I know Remo will respond well, but Plateau United, congratulations. Beautiful performance, and it was an amazing show at the end of the day. For Plateau, they're also having a tough season, but that is a resounding result, and I think they will improve with that game.
All right. So, and to wrap up our last review for the match day 7, we saw Katsina United win at home against Aqua United. The game ended in a 1-0 defeat for Aqua United.
Well, I don't even know at this juncture. I don't know if Aqua United wants to stay in the league, or they should just go back to the NNL and look at what they can do with their life. They're not even playing like 2021 champions. They're not even playing like someone that have won the league in the past 5 years. It's concerning and it's traumatizing for all the fans of Akwa Ibom State. Yes, Akwa Ibom State as a whole, because how can you, at home, you're not getting the job done, away from home, you're struggling as well. So, I don't know, it's high time Baba Ganaro leaves Akwa United, to be very sincere. I'm not saying this to maybe cut short anything or to sabotage him or something, but I think it's high time he leaves the club, because this is not the kind of performance Aqua United has to be pulling.
I mean, to be playing at the Nest of Champions.
To be playing at the Nest of Champions. The best stadium in the whole of West Africa. So I would say that it's high time Baba Ganaro takes his leave. And for Katsina United, at least they are doing a little bit better this season than last season, and they are getting the job done, even though not away from home, but in the house. They are doing an exceptional job. For Aqua United, they should just come back, and they are playing with Rangers International next. Well, let's just see what happens if they don't give up.
All right. So, thank you. That's the end of today's review. Let's have some fun facts for the match day 7. We saw a total tally of 31 goals across all 10 games for the match day 7. And to speak of the last game, the match day 6, we had just 13 goals in the whole of match day 6. what's your other fun facts? What other fun facts did you pick from the match day 7?
Eddie, so please bring the camera closer. AJ, thank you very much. Here's my fun facts. Ahmed Musa is the GOAT. Scoring once, having 1 assist, winning 2 penalties, perfect chemistry with Rabi Ali. I wanted to see that working so well. In that game, the first penalty he won, it was a through ball from Rabi Ali that set him up. But the second penalty he won, because the first one was handball by Ken and Stephen. But the second one was a through ball. The both of them play so lovely. I like how Musa doesn't just play on the left, he plays on the left and the right. Yeah. And that's a lovely takeaway from Match Week 7. I want to see more of that. And I want to see Musa playing well. And I dare say, but I'm going to say here on CenterKick, Ahmed Musa deserves to be in the Super Eagles squad, not just the Chan Eagles. The performance against Rangers, defending champions, is good enough to see him in the Super Eagles squad. He's not going to bench Lookman, yes, but at least he's in form. I'm not going to mention any other person that's not top form, but I think Musa is in form.
So over to you, Trent. Let me get your fun facts about the match day 7.
Well, too many goals, too many braces. 5 braces in the NPFL match week 7, and hat trick for Anas Yusuf as well. So let's just look towards the next match week 8 in the NPFL.
All right, thank you so much. It's so good to have you guys on today's episode. It was quite intimidating being amazed through very giant.
Can I say something?
Okay.
You know that AJay said about El Kaname Warriors and Eyimba International that it will be a draw, and if it's not a draw, it's going to be a singlet to the next show. So please,
we're holding by that word. Yeah, it was so nice having you guys on today's episode. I feel so blessed. They used to say blessed amongst men. Yeah, it's true. I'm so blessed. I feel so short. Yes, to be very sincere. But I think today's episode was quite interesting. I love the banter. I love the propositions and all of that. So it was great. So please, thank you guys. Thank you for having us for today's episode. And to wrap it all up, please do not forget, like I would mention 1,010 times again, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all social media handles. And yes, I remain your humble host for CenterKick's review. My name is Akane James, known also as AJay. Ciao. Thank you very much.